Let's talk about John the Baptist, the truth teller. The Bible says that he is the voice crying out in the wilderness. Truth tellers are always lone voices in barren places. You'll rarely find a voice declaring truth in the middle of a crowd, nor will you hear it from the figurehead on the balcony above. Truth stands with the ostracized and the outsider, and often costs him greatly to stay faithful to it. How many have we seen pay the ultimate price in order to hold to their convictions? How many heads have we seen removed for daring to defy the conventional? Truth may be celebrated in time, but only after it has been vilified and denied and its deliverer destroyed. But you ignore truth, the voices of truth, at your own peril. Just as Churchill saw the rise of the Third Reich coming a long way off, God allows men of prophecy and principle to spot evil in its infancy. John the Baptist decries the Pharisees the moment they show up, calling them a brood of vipers, likening them to nothing more than a pit of poisonous snakes who bite and devour the people they claim to protect and love. The prophet employs no tact and makes no allowance for these manipulative men. Instead, he uses the fullness of truth and the force of his voice to rip off the garments of self-righteousness that these men employ, and he exposes their motivations as nothing more than shallow self-interest. Institutions, even religious ones, are often hijacked by these egocentric ladder climbers, those who will work the system and step on people in order to get some modicum of power, whereas the wilderness produces greatness because it removes all the non-essential from one's life, leaving only the real and the necessary. If you find yourself in the wilderness, know that you are following in the footsteps of greatness. Abraham met God in the wilderness. Moses learned leadership in the wilderness. Jesus was baptized and tempted in the wilderness. It is in the wilderness that God gives you something worth saying and a conviction worth having. It's in the wilderness that God will reveal himself to you, like he did with Elijah or John the Apostle. And it is in that place, the barren place, that you will be able to behold the Lamb. It's in the desert that you'll see God. And it is there, in the wilderness, where you have nothing left to lose, that God will finally give you something to say.